Hello and welcome to round 9 of the 2025 Super Formula One World Championship, the St. Croix Grand Prix. For the very first time, we attend Circuit de Sainte-Croix, back here in France, a brand new track added to the calendar for 2025. It is a nearly 4.4 mile course with 14 turns around the French lake, including a straight across the bridge. Not sure what to expect today. Let's see how the drivers adapt and take a look at the starting grid.
Starting at the back, Lance Stroll starts alongside Carlos Sainz in 19th, Pierre Gasly in 18th alongside former teammate Esteban Ocon. Gabriel Bortoleto starts 16th next to Liam Lawson in 15th, then Nico Hülkenberg starts 14th alongside Alexander Albon in 13th, Oliver Bearman starts a career-best 12th alongside Franco Colapinto, and Yuki Tsunoda starts next to a season-worst 9th for Lando Norris. Isaac Hadjar starts 8th next to Fernando Alonso in 7th, then Charles Leclerc starts P6 next to the user driver Oscar Piastri in 5th. Former teammates George Russell and Lewis Hamilton share row 2, and then Kimi Antonelli starts on the front row for his first time next to pole sitter Max Verstappen.
For the very first time, we are underway from St. Croix, and Kimi Antonelli is trying to draw alongside Max Verstappen. Verstappen covers him off into turn 1 and leads as Lewis Hamilton goes down the inside of Antonelli and gets through. He's caught him napping, and George Russell is through as well. Oscar Piastri follows them through too. Antonelli dropping straight off the front at the start down to 5th, as George Russell will have Oscar Piastri on his back and now on his side in this twisty section down towards the bridge. Piastri looking for a way by but can't find one. Russell squeezing him onto the bridge. Slight wheel bang between them as at the front Max Verstappen leads from Lewis Hamilton, then George Russell. Here's a look at the start. Watch Kimi Antonelli here. He gets covered off by Verstappen, but the door is left open for Lewis Hamilton, who goes through, and that seemed to catch Antonelli by surprise because he had a very poor getaway on his exit, and George Russell goes through. And then if that's not bad enough, Piastri follows Russell through, and so that's not a memorable first front row start for the rookie, getting passed by the veterans and then down onto the bridge. Russell versus Piastri. Piastri almost pulls alongside, but Russell kind of squeezes him there, and Piastri has to back out. On board with Oscar Piastri coming out of turn 1. He's up into 3rd from 5th at the start, going down into turn 3. Piastri going around the outside of Lewis Hamilton, and he looks to be through and up into 2nd in no time. Piastri gaining on Verstappen, these two championship rivals a year ago, and now a year later as Piastri moves alongside Verstappen down the straight, and he will be ahead by turn 9. Oscar Piastri now leads the St. Croix Grand Prix, but behind them, George Russell alongside Hamilton, and ahead as down into turn 10. And Russell will hold on to that place there. George Russell up into 3rd. The two Scuderia are going to be at it into 9 and 10 as Charles Leclerc is on the inside of his teammate Hamilton. Side by side they go down into turn 10, but Leclerc will have that inside advantage. And under braking, Charles Leclerc is up into 4th place. No team orders between these two, and Leclerc trying to bounce back from his recent form. Oscar Piastri into the pits here on lap 14. He's come in early and comes back out on softs. Here comes Leclerc and Antonelli. Norris as well, as Piastri will want to clear these guys quickly. He's already on Norris, and on the grass inside of turn 2, that was overzealous. He's just going to make these moves at the right time. He knows he'll be quicker. Just let the moves come to you. And so he'll have another go at Lando Norris. And through on his teammate. Charles Leclerc is next. And coming onto the bridge, down the inside, Piastri all out of sorts on the curb. And Leclerc is going to come back at him and draw alongside. Piastri stays ahead, and I think he's just pressing a bit too much to get ahead of what is effectively slow traffic for him, making quite risky overtakes. He's already on the back of Antonelli coming off the bridge. Coming around turn 8, and Piastri dropped it into the wall. He just swerved into the wall close to the back of Antonelli and then made contact. That's damage. What on earth happened to Oscar Piastri here? He's arriving to the back of Antonelli around turn 8. Oh, and Antonelli brakes around there, and it just catches Piastri out. He has to weave to avoid contact, but instead it's contact with the wall. And that's the last thing you want on an outlap is damage. Verstappen still hasn't made his stop, and now Piastri is catching him, having already made his. And so Piastri has pitted from the lead, made his stop, come out and re-overtaken everyone ahead to regain the race lead, all before Verstappen has made his stop, and he will lead with a margin once the Red Bull pits. So McLaren have called Piastri in here again to repair his damage. This will be like a stop and go for him. They elect not to give him another set of tires, and so he will come out as Norris comes in, still in the lead and ahead of Verstappen, who is coming across the line now on his outlap. So this will likely go to the end now on a one stop for tires at least. But Piastri essentially bought himself a free pit stop and still comes out in the lead of the race. Verstappen just a bit closer now. Norris on his outlap. It hasn't been exactly a great race for him so far. He's under pressure from Alonso. Started 9th and running 7th, but 7th is about to turn into 8th as Fernando Alonso on the inside at turn 9, up the hill to turn 10. And Hadjar comes from behind now, and now he will get into 8th. So Norris losing 2 places in that sequence. That was impressive from Hadjar. Here comes Lewis Hamilton now on Max Verstappen, down into turn 1. Hamilton sends it down the inside and makes contact with Verstappen on his way through, but he is through and up into 2nd place. Now has Sainz alongside him. He's just had 0 pace all weekend, and now he's struggling just for a point. 4 cars down into turn 10. Smoke from the 2 Williams, both on the inside, and both now ahead of Lando Norris. Williams' teamwork strikes again as Norris side by side and pulling back ahead of Albon, trying to hold on for just a point. But McLaren are on the radio telling Norris he has damage. I'm not sure from where, but he's having to pit at the end of this lap, and Albon apparently going in as well. I didn't see them come together, but both sustained damage. But he has led most of today out front, and Verstappen hasn't been able to match him. And oh, Piastri sideways! Out of 1, he's gone deep, nearly off the track, and Hamilton and Verstappen go through. He's clipped that bump in the tarmac at turn 1 and it's nearly caught him out, as he's already trying to reclaim 2nd. Down into turn 3, already back up ahead of Verstappen. That was a scary, scary moment for Oscar Piastri. But he's already catching Lewis Hamilton now, as down the inside through the S's. Oscar Piastri has driven so aggressively today. He's back up in the P1, and it's as if that moment at turn 1 never happened. Max Verstappen is catching Lewis Hamilton now late. They're headed into turn 9. Verstappen's got 2nd and is ahead before they get to turn 10. And now they'll be catching lap traffic as Verstappen goes through, but Hamilton doesn't. He's stuck behind Lawson. He's going to lose chunks of time like this. And now the rest of the pack have caught up to Hamilton. Hamilton was just fighting for 2nd. Now he has 3 cars on his back down the main straight, finally getting through, but they're all through. There are 4 cars, 3 wide down into turn 1. Hamilton on the outside, Leclerc on the inside, and Leclerc is through. Antonelli is through, and in a blink of an eye, Hamilton is off the podium as Antonelli goes at Leclerc. Hamilton just got caught behind Lawson and then just dropped off in an instant, and now George Russell is following closely. He's just gone through as well. Nothing going right for Lewis, and only with 2 to go. Leclerc versus Antonelli down towards turn 9 and 10. Antonelli trying to recover from his start, but Leclerc will have the inside, and Charles Leclerc up into third place, and he will hold on out of 10. Antonelli in fourth. Verstappen hasn't been this close to Piastri yet in pursuit for the lead in his final stint. Look at Piastri's tires and look at Verstappen's. He's got a bit more life in his than the McLaren. Piastri checking his mirrors, but that McLaren is just too quick in a straight line for Verstappen to draw close into 9. And now down into 10, running out of opportunities now, and Piastri's gone wide! Piastri's gone too deep, Verstappen is through! Piastri went too deep and Verstappen is through! There's not enough time left in this race for Piastri! Max Verstappen has taken the race lead on the final lap with just 4 corners to go! And Piastri just lost grip. And that will do it! From Sainte-Croix, round the final corner. Look at Piastri still struggling. Max Verstappen crosses the line to win the first ever Sainte-Croix Grand Prix. Back-to-back wins for Verstappen. Alonso and Hadjar now for 7th into turn 9. And Alonso has got that place on the final lap. Hadjar switches back to the inside for turn 10. But Alonso's got him covered off. And up into 7th goes Fernando Alonso. So after 29 laps, Max Verstappen with an incredible surprise overtake for the lead and for the win, his 3rd win of the year ahead of Oscar Piastri. Story of his season, losing tires at the end of races and losing out because of it, finishing 2nd, still yet to win a race this season. Charles Leclerc finally returns to the podium. It's been since round 3, and then Kimi Antonelli in 4th from 2nd at the start. George Russell in 5th, Lewis Hamilton with the fastest lap fell to 6th after what could have been a sure podium. And Fernando Alonso in 7th, Isaac Hadjar in 8th, Carlos Sainz 9th, and Yuki Tsunoda back in the points in 10th. Outside the points, the biggest story here is that Lando Norris, for the first time this season, falls to finish outside the points and in 13th. And that means that when we look at the championship standings, we will have a shift. After 8 races since he has last led the championship after round 1, Max Verstappen, on 2 wins in a row, has taken the lead of the championship by 14 points ahead of Lando Norris in 2nd, and then Oscar Piastri is 10 points off of his McLaren teammate in 3rd. A win today would have done him wonders, instead P2. Another look at the constructors, McLaren still clear out front. Ferrari is now 2 points behind Mercedes for P2, and Red Bull is about 17 points off that battle. That's it from St. Croix. Action-packed debut from this track, and we leave with a new championship leader, Max Verstappen. Next up is the great Croatian Grand Prix. We'll see you next time on Project SF1.